did we get here? By Shoe0nHead. Like, comment, subscribe, let's watch.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am here to inform you that the rumors are indeed true. The Democrats have struck back. In the New Jersey governor's race, the Democrat won. In the Virginia governor's race, the Democrat won. And in the New York City race, Democratic Socialist Zohran Mamdani defeated Andrew Cuomo to become the next mayor of America's largest city. But the question on everyone's mind is, was it just a fluke? Just easy wins in blue cities and states? Or is there something more to this? Is this a sign of things to come? Is the Democratic Party finally turning their losing streak around? Are they actually listening to the people now? Did they finally learn their lesson? No. Thanks for watching.
Of course not.
My last 3 videos about electoral politics were warning the Democratic Party that young men were moving right because the party f***ing sucks and was becoming the young men eat and die movement, spanking the Democratic Party for losing because they elected one of the most unlikable shittiest candidates while offering absolutely nothing to voters, and defending the voters from the wrath of a bunch of liberal streamer man-children calling the voters stupid and evil for daring not to vote for Hillary Clinton and brownface. But the thesis for all 3 of those videos was basically the same. As the right embraces working class populism, the Democratic Party and the left will continue to fade into irrelevancy. But as I also predicted in those last videos, there might be an eventual pendulum swing, and it might be happening much sooner than I predicted. Like, how did we go from Republicans winning the popular vote, in part thanks to a lot of the young people voting, to a bunch of data showing those same young people dropping their support for the GOP already? But the interesting thing is, those young people don't seem to be moving to the Democratic Party either. Where are they going? And do the Democrats have a plan to scoop these people up?
Yeah, that's true.
Yes, they do, and they called it, I'm not kidding, deciding to win. Deciding to win, as if the whole time they have just been simply deciding to lose. It was a choice, guys. They changed their mind and they want to win now.
Yeah,
in this video, I will talk about why I think Zohran Mamdani won. We will go through the Democrat Party's plan to decide to win. We will briefly talk about the rise of the political commentator Nick.
Wait. I have a very important and pertinent question, not only for you, but my viewers in the comment section. Mamdani has a plan? Really, Mamdani has a plan?
Fuentes, the MAGA Civil War, and what I like to call the inevitable rise of shoe-silism. If that sounds interesting, stick around. If it doesn't, you can leave. It's not like I'll miss you or anything. Baka. I know a lot of you are not very interested in politics. You come here for the fun Reddit slop, the men versus women content. Yeah, I know. But unfortunately, politics kind of seeps into your lives whether you want it to or not. So you might as well be entertained when you hear about it and have some fun with it when you can. And I just so happen to have the perfect app for that. So before we get into this political deep dive, let's quickly give a shout out to today's sponsor, one of my favorite sponsors to work with, Ground News. Ground News is a website and an app that gives readers a transparent and easy way to read news from all across the political spectrum, from left, right, and center. Every story comes with a quick visual breakdown of political bias that helps you understand the full story and makes sure you're getting both sides. One of my favorite features on Ground News is the blind spot feature, which shows you news stories that have been covered by one side of the spectrum and ignored by the other. For example, here is a story about how the White House apparently intervened in an Andrew Tate federal probe. 29 news sources covered this. 86% of them were left-wing. None were right-wing. Ground News also makes it really easy to compare headlines to see how political bias can affect framing. For example, this feud between Elon Musk and Billie Eilish. This right-wing headline reads, Elon Musk claps back at
Who would imagine that some things are a problem to one side and not a problem to other? Right? I wonder. It's not just by trying to hide something or anything. It's just because they know that people from one specific side would not care, will not give a shit to that type of news. So they just don't publish. That's it. That's how it works. I bet that the same happens on the reverse side, some news that only showed in the right-wing media and not in the left, because for them it's not a problem. For them that is just amazing. So they don't really care, and they just don't show anything.
Billie Eilish after she slams him for hoarding wealth. And this left-wing article frames the same story as Elon Musk's comebacks are as flat as his attempts at jokes. Very different vibes going on here. I have been using Ground News since 2021 because it is just a great and fun way to keep up with the news. But don't just take my word for it. Even the Nobel Peace Center called it an excellent way to stay informed, avoid echo chambers, and expand your worldview. Best of all, I am currently offering 40% off their Vantage plan, which is the plan I use to access all their amazing features. So go to ground.news/shoe or use the QR code here on screen, or use the link in the video description down below. It's only like $5 a month, which is basically the price of like a coffee. You can also gift a subscription to somebody. Just select the Vantage subscription, add a customized gift message, and Ground News will send it straight to their inbox where they can activate it. The perfect Christmas present for your out-of-touch uncle who gets all his news from Facebook. So thank you Ground News for sponsoring this video, and thank you the viewer for not skipping the ad. Right?
I did it.
Now let's get back to the video. For those of you familiar with the Shoe0nHead channel, you know I've harshly criticized the Democratic Party for all my career. Some say too harshly. Frankly, I don't care. And some say I'm not harsh enough on the Republicans. First of all, true, but let's be honest, that's not why you come here. You go to Kyle Kulinski for that, just like you go to Destiny to see opinions you can hear on CNN.
I come here because I think your takes are fun. And yeah, I still think... Sometimes I really doubt, but lately I've been thinking that you're really left-leaning. But even though, I mean, it's not secret you say that, but I never actually thought that until my recently.
Or to Hassan for dog training tips. You come here to hear, golly gee willikers, I'm left-wing and the Democrats have gone crazy. That's the shit you're here for. But are the Democrats actually getting their shit together? Or did they simply get lucky in a few blue areas? One of those blue areas being my city, New York, where Democratic Socialist candidate Zohran Mamdani won the election and will become the new mayor. And a lot of people are like really confused about how this happened. And if you're one of those people, you really need to keep watching. If you don't understand why Mamdani won, I'm sorry to say, but you're kind of like the liberals in 2016 who didn't understand why Trump won. It's actually extremely understable why Zohran Mamdani
I have a good idea
of
why he won.
Commies or whatever. He's objectively the best Democratic candidate that they've had in a very, very long time. Like, I know the bar is in hell there, but he's young, he's energetic, he's charismatic. And people are really tired of the White House doubling as a retirement home. And of course, I like many of his economic policies. I like the universal childcare thing, the transportation, flipping off the Christopher Columbus statue. That's the shit I don't like. Bitch, that's our fucking guy. He was a brave Italian explorer who discovered America, and in this house, Christopher Columbus is a hero. End of story. I've said this many times, but I don't think the good left-wing policies can even exist alongside the bad left-wing policies. Like, I don't know how you can have free transportation, but also be soft on crime. Like, I don't know, like, in what world does that work out? You can't have nice, clean, free transportation if a bunch of drug addicts and violent felons are going around stabbing people and setting them on fire. You can't have nice things if you don't have rules to enforce those nice things. You know what I mean? It's always such a breath of fucking fresh air when I go back to visit my family in the suburbs of Long Island and I go to the CVS and the fucking toothpaste is free from their plexiglass prisons. I shouldn't have to wait 10 minutes for some poor wagey to come unlock the cagey so I can buy fucking shampoo. We don't have to live that way. Maybe he'll do great, or maybe he gets into power and immediately cucks to the establishment like some other people. I don't like to talk about it. I just don't know how the hell anyone thought Andrew Cuomo was going to win. He killed a bunch of grandmas during COVID.
As you admitted this week, you personally altered the state health department report to undercount the death total, to hide the death total, and then evaded and lied to these families for 5 years. So
you killed a shit ton of people. For what? Plus, he doesn't even live in New York City. He doesn't live in the city he's running to be mayor of. Cuomo just kind of expected to win based on name recognition alone and being like, hey, at least I'm not the other guy. Sound familiar? Trump actually offered a vision. Make America great again. Mamdani offered a vision. A New York City you can afford. So people took a chance on him. People wanted something different. Andrew Cuomo, he had no vision or anything. Oh man, I love tuning into a debate about New York City and 80% of it is about another f***ing country.
The first foreign visit by a mayor of New York is always considered significant. Where would you go first?
First visit, I would visit the Holy Land.
I would go to Israel. I'd make my 4th trip to Israel.
Mr. Mamdani.
I would stay in New York City. My plans are to address New Yorkers across the 5 boroughs and focus on that.
Mr. Mamdani, can I just jump in? Would you visit Israel?
That was the exact moment I knew Zoran was going to win. Bro was just surrounded by NPCs. I love how they're like, where would you go? And Zoran was like, I'm gonna stay.
There is really no better way to describe that. They are all just freaky NPCs. Oh my god, what is that? What is that? I always, like, and I always been telling you guys, like, we have to take these old foxes, you know, like, it's even a crime to call them foxes. But I mean, it's how people usually tell, like, we have to take these old guys, like, from politics. It's time, okay? It's time. They're like a danger to society nowadays, okay? That's what I think. Of course, like, there's like very terrible young people as well that could, you know, win elections and do terrible stuff. But we just, I think everyone agrees that we just have to take that out, okay? We just have to.
Here, okay? And instead of being like, no, Zoran, the question was, where would you go? They're like, why wouldn't you go to Israel? Like, that's the answer to the question. Like, that's just the default answer to that question. His win was very much in part a direct response to the affordability crisis that many Americans are facing. So what is the GOP's answer to the affordability crisis? Oh.
You guys still have no idea what is a affordability problem. Until you come to my country, yes. Of course, you guys declined a lot as well at that point, but you're still so far of having a deep understanding, a deep knowledge of what it is to not be able to afford things, you know? You guys have no idea.
Great news, guys. There is no affordability crisis. It doesn't exist. It's all in your head, silly. Need to save money? Simply don't buy your grandmother a Christmas present this year.
Budget. You need a plan. Also remember, adults don't need gifts, okay? Focus on the people in your life who are age 3 to 18.
How far, right? How far?
Grandma doesn't need slippers. If they don't live by you, don't get them a gift. Now's not the time to spend and break the banks.
Zoran's win was also basically a direct response to the housing crisis in America. So what is the GOP's response to the pie-in-the-sky, commie gobbledygook that Zoran Mamdani is selling? Surely they have a better solution.
Here we go. The White House is floating this idea. Bill Pulte is saying, thanks to President...
It doesn't even make sense. The population is declining in all the world. Why prices of lands and houses keeps rising? It doesn't make any sense. I think in more 20 or 30 years, I'm not sure, okay, guys. I'm just like, it's speculated. I don't have any idea about the data or etc. I didn't remember saying these things, but the way that things are going, I think it's 20, maybe 30 years, we're already seeing like a significant decrease in amount of people on Earth, you know, or way more than that, depending on how brutal things can go in future, you know, how brutal can things go in future. But what I'm trying to say is that it doesn't make any sense. Please explain to me if you guys have an idea about it.
President Trump, we can indeed work on the 50-year mortgage, a complete game changer. How does that work in dollars? Here you go. 30-year fixed mortgage right now. You're paying $2,038 a month, principal and interest on a $400,000 home. At the bottom, under 50 years, you'd save a couple $100 a month at $1,822 principal and interest. That is proposed. Do you like this idea?
I do not like this idea.
Not lowering prices, not building more housing. No, just being a good little slave to the bank for 50 years. You might as well be a rentoid forever in this case. Like, at least you don't have to fix your own dishwasher. You will own nothing and be happy. Doesn't that sound great, Gen Z? Vote for us. We'll release the Epstein files and finally drain the swamp. Awesome. Finally, justice. Here it comes, the Epstein Files Phase 1. We got all your favorite E-celebs here. Don't you think that's a little tacky? I mean, like, this is an international child trap. The Epstein Files are on my desk. Oh, that's great, that's great. That's what we've been waiting for. Well? Oh, they don't exist. Wait, what? Yeah, the Epstein Files don't exist. They're a Democrat hoax. But you just said, hey, what the f***? That's my wallet. Sorry, Israel needs new weapons. Bye. Psst. What do you want, Democrat? Vote for us.
Oh no,
Why?
the sector.
What do you have to offer? Hey, That's my wallet again! What are you people doing? Sorry. Israel needs new weapons. Bye. The Epstein files are a really big deal. This is not a partisan issue. You should absolutely care about an international trial trafficking blackmail operation consisting of the most powerful people in the world. And anyone telling you to move on is coping, gaslighting, or in on it. If whatever is in there is so damning that it is a national security risk, the people deserve to know. Like, I don't know about you, but if we are paying taxes to a bunch of satanic pedophiles, I would like to know. That is information I would like to know. Like, I already know we're doing that, but I would like some confirmation. Okay, so literally as I am filming this, Trump is saying he is releasing the Epstein files. So I guess they weren't a hoax. I'm gonna be so honest. I have no idea what the is going on, you guys. I'm sure when this video gets posted, there's already...
Now, about the Epstein files, I still have no idea as well. All the times things change, and on the beginning, like a very long time ago, they were saying that they would release, then they say that doesn't exist. Now they say they are releasing, and now, I just, to be honest, I have to be very honest. I just don't care. It's not like this is not a problem. But we just have so much more worse shit happening at this moment that I really don't care. I really don't care. The world is going to shit and people don't stop talking about Epstein, and I cannot comprehend. Because even though you know the names, you know who was doing that, what's it gonna do? Do you think something is gonna happen? They're politicians, and they are probably all involved in that. Democrats, Republicans, the ones in the, if they exist US, the ones in the middle, the ITIS, the Hollywood, everything is involved in that shit. I think everyone with two brain cells can say that. What do you think it's gonna happen? Huh? It's gonna happen what I have been saying on this channel since the very beginning. It's us. People against them, government, and big corporals. That's it. They will help themselves when they are screwed together, and they cannot weaponize that stuff against each other because they are all involved. They will do what they do best in this position. They will be all against us. They will free themselves. They will free their own asses out of any accountability that they could possibly have of this. You're not gonna see prisons. You're not gonna see people. You're not gonna see anything happening out of it. That's why I think it's bullshit. Okay, that's why I think it's bullshit. It's my opinion. I would like to know you guys' opinions about this. I know I said I gave a take here that it's very unpopular because everyone wanna see so much this freaking stupid list. Okay. Mr. So you're saying that you don't care to those blue girls? That of course I do. Gil, why do I need to say, like, oh my god, why do I need to explain this? But what am I saying is that look at how the words went to shit. Look at how your countries are. Yours there, mine here, Look at all the crap that is happening. Problems with economy, problems with your freedom of speech, freedom of expression, loss of anonymity. All of these bullshit happening all at the same time. And they keep using this fucking Epstein files as I smoke cocaine, And you guys are letting them, you guys are letting yourselves to be manipulated to all of this. To lose focusing what is really more important,
Already gonna be more things that have happened. Also, Mike Johnson apparently said they need to make changes to the files to make sure we, quote, don't do permanent damage to the political system.
Okay, but if you're doing changes to these files, it doesn't mean that you're invalidating the quote-unquote proof. It's bullshit. It's all bullshit.
Releasing the Epstein files would do damage to the political system, then so be it. Then it deserves to be damaged. It deserves
to be damaged. And everyone knows already that you are all pieces of crap. All of you politicians are. We already know that. Just show us what we already know. Just say, just for us can say, like, you see, we were all right. None of them, is worth a cent, We all know already that politicians not work that living on the republic system, whatever it is, it doesn't work. Everyone knows that already at some like unconscious level. Everyone knows that already, you know. It doesn't matter if you're left, if you're right, it doesn't matter. Everyone knows that it doesn't work. It's all bullshit.
To be destroyed. Just release the files. After all, if you have nothing to hide, you have nothing to fear. Isn't that right, government? But I wasn't.
They will keep existing anyway. We want or not, the politicians be damaged to society or not. They will keep existing because they have the monopoly of power, of violence, of everything. So yeah, they will keep existing because they can. Just because of it.
Just the Epstein Files thing that has MAGA feeling a little demoralized lately.
And does that mean the H-1B visa thing will not be a big priority for your administration? Because if you want to raise wages for American workers, you can't flood the country with tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of foreign workers.
You also do have to bring in talent. When
we have plenty of talented people
here.
No, you don't. We don't have talented people here?
No, you don't have certain talents, and people have to learn.
We've talked about this a few times on this channel, actually very recently in the male loser epidemic video. The no talented Americans.
I don't believe he was right on that take. What I know that it's true is just the opposite. You have like a necessity for filling jobs that are actually not that much like with I forgot the words now. That it doesn't require too much knowledge. You guys have like too much like labor that is hard labors like that requires some technical skills and strange, but that people just don't want to do in US anymore. So these types of work need to be filled by immigrants because I mean you guys just don't want to do that. And I know that because, again, I live in Brazil, so I know exactly. I watched tons of channels, tons of videos of people that live in places like United States, for example, and I know very well the type of jobs that they get money from when they go to your country. It's never like doing the same types of jobs like you guys. It's always doing the jobs that you guys don't want to do. And this is not the type of jobs that you guys most of the times despise. And this is the type of jobs that you guys need immigrants for. But I think his take was very wrong because it's not the type of job that we are talking about here, you know. He is clearly talking about high qualified labor, but that they just want to get it like in a way more cheaper, way more cheaper way outside of the country, just to favor the big corpus and etc. Because big corpus favor them, and yeah, you know how they work, like right, they always walk hand in hand, that government and the big corpus, like I always say. So there's a self-interest of big corpus, of course, like, so they pay a lot less than pay and work in United States, and they have all the benefits, like, it's amazing.
Thing is a myth pushed on us by corpos and billionaires, so they can hire foreign workers who will work for less money and won't unionize. Worker drones who will work under the coercion of deportation, essentially creating infinite scab labor. Even though there are so many Americans in these fields looking.
At the same time, it's not like I condemn people try to get a job for overseas, because I know very well, because we are in this position that we need very much to receive in dollar, because you see a few bucks that we receive, like we can hopefully afford living in these terrible countries like the one I'm here, you know. Just because the economy here sucks, because like all companies here are just living. We are a poor damned country. It's like I said, $2,000 in my country and you're 1% rich. Here, like really, for real, I'm not joking. If you receive $2,000, if you come to Brazil with $2,000 a month, like from overseas job, like that you have or something, you are part of 1% more rich in this country. That's it. That's it. It doesn't mean that you're gonna live like a rich person in US. I'm just saying that the people who receive $2,000 a year, It's like equivalent of being like 1% of the most rich people in this country.
Looking for jobs. But those spoiled Americans will ask for a living wage so they can live in a 600-foot square apartment. How dare they? We can't do that. So import 1 billion immigrants. After all, it's good for business.
Folks are not thrilled about this idea of hundreds of thousands of foreign students in the United States.
If we were to cut that in half, which perhaps makes some people happy, you would have half the colleges in the United States go out of business.
So what?
And it's not that I want them, but I view it as a business.
Unfortunately, America does feel like nothing but 3 corporations in a trench coat. But America is not a business. America is not a corporation. It is a nation. The contrast of what Trump is saying here compared to how he used to talk is staggering. Republicans.
Well, at least he was honest with saying that it's because, you know, business, that because the corporals. At least he didn't like hit himself behind the main excuse. At least he was honest and clear and that say, I can't get rid of them because we need their money.
Embracing populism, at least rhetorically, is what gave rise to Donald Trump and fundamentally changed the way Republicans do politics in America. If you go back and watch the debates of Donald Trump in 2016, it's crazy.
We should have never been in Iraq. We have destabilized the Middle East. They lied. They said there were weapons of mass destruction. There were none, and they knew there were none. There were no weapons of mass destruction.
All right.
I remember being like, damn, that's not how politicians in general really talked at that time. Like, we would see it from Bernie Sanders and maybe like Ron Paul, but to get up on stage in a Republican debate in front of Republican donors saying that kind of shit was unheard of. Bro was getting booed. Trump won in 2016 by decrying the bloodlust and warmongering of the Republican Party, but also by speaking to the economic woes of the average working class American. Basically saying, I see you, to people who felt like they haven't been seen by either party in a very long time. Like, I saw people in my life, my neighbors and stuff, that were all like Obama voters, like just flipped to Trump, and now like all of Long Island. Long Island is like the Florida of the Northeast, bro. It is like Trump country there now. Before Trump, oh, my nuggies are here. My nuggies are here. 1 second. 1 second. I must go get my nuggies. It's nuggie time. 34-year-old woman, by the way. Mother, by the way. Before Trump, the Democrats basically relied on talking about how the Republican Party didn't care about the working class. But eventually, the problem for Democrats was the working class didn't care about them. But now it seems like the Republican Party is going back on all of that and becoming the Bush-era neoconservative party again, right as they're winning, embracing freaks like Lindsey Graham.
So I just want to say, I feel good about the Republican Party. I feel good about where we're going as a nation. We're killing all the right people and we're cutting your taxes. Trump is my favorite president. We've run out of bombs. We didn't run out of bombs in World War II.
Republicans, is that what you want your party to be? Lowering taxes and killing people? We tried that already. To many Republicans, the solution to the affordability crisis wreaking havoc on Americans is simply trusting the free market, working hard, and if that doesn't work, they bust out all reliable.
If you're a young person and you can't afford to live here, then maybe you should not live here. I mean, that is a real thing. Yeah, I know that we've now grown up in a society that says that you deserve to live where you grew up, but
a lot? But I mean, just think about it. If you've been born like in the United States, you're a genuine American, and you hear a person say this shit, what kind of thoughts would you have? Oh my God, man.
Reality is that the history of America is almost literally the opposite.
That it's like they are refusing to acknowledge that we have any saying a problem with people not being to afford anything anymore, not only US but worldwide, even more in worldwide, like here, for example.
Sort of that.
Ah, yes, the classic. Just move from.
That's why Binchafiro is being totally destroyed annihilated.
Economic Zone 67 to Economic Zone 69. I don't know, man. Maybe some people actually like where they live. Maybe they want to make their community better. This is like the libertarian version of just deal with it when you talk to leftists about crime. Like, no, we shouldn't just deal with it. We shouldn't just move. Maybe we can make the cities in our country livable and safe. Maybe better things are possible, actually. My husband and I moved away from our families because of his job, and it f***ing sucks. It sucks raising kids without an extended family around. Say hi to grandma on FaceTime. Not normal, not natural. When I was growing up, it was like aunts and uncles and cousins and grandparents were just coming in and out of my house, like bringing over food, like, hey, I got some mancati. I would be babysat by my cousins and my aunts. And because we moved away, my kid won't have that. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's one reason many young people are putting off having children. The complete lack of community, the lack of a village. If you can't afford to live where your family lives, just move to fucking Gary, Indiana, where there's nobody around and no jobs and no family and no friends, but hey, at least you can afford a house there. That's not how life should work, Ben. Maybe take a step back and try to understand. Am I doing bird hands?
Yeah, like him having to move away from my family. You know, you had to have a better life because here just sucks.
Too much. You guys have made me so insecure about the fucking bird hands thing ever since this meme. Listen, I'm a woman, okay? We are programmed to scold children. And when no children are around, we scold people on the internet, okay? Anyway, Nick Fuentes is a far-right commentator and a controversial figure to say the least. But his main topic he covers...
I have to say that it's not everyone who does bird rant, so get rid of that too.
...is Israel, which is an extremely hot topic that many other right-wing commentators seem to not want to touch. And the rare times they do touch it, it's them telling you not to talk about it, questioning why you care so much, or shape-shifting into the woke mob they fought against for so many years, calling you names, calling for you to be censored. What's funny is they didn't care about any of Nick Fuentes' rants on, like, race or women. They only started caring when his rants on Israel were blowing up. Nick recently did an interview with Tucker Carlson, which completely ignited the MAGA civil war that was brewing on the right for some time now. It got so ridiculous that even Chuck Schumer went on the Senate floor and called for a disavowal of Nick Fuentes. Sir, with all due respect, none. Why do politicians need a resolution in the Senate to disagree with a citizen? Hello, I have gathered you all here today to disavow Hitler Bussy for...
Again, old hacks on the politics.
420. People can't afford groceries. Ben Shapiro, in particular, has spent the last few months extremely confused and angry about Zoran Mamdani and Nick Fuentes becoming popular in the mainstream, all while his numbers continue to drop.
Some takes of Nick Fuentes are kind of concerning, but if I would have to choose between Nick Fuentes and Ben Shapiro, the choice is pretty much clear. And it's just an example. It would be Nick Fuentes.
I honestly don't think he understands what is happening here, so I am going to explain to you, Ben, what exactly is going on here. The American dream does not exist anymore for most people. Young people followed advice.
And the reason is simple. Nick Fuentes is just more grounded on reality than each of you. It's simple as that.
That worked for older generations, and it got them nowhere. Young people are tired of this stale, moldy, old, dead consensus that has dominated American politics for a very long time. The one that dragged us into all these foreign wars and sold us out for some cheap plastic shit from China. Young people are tired of being told to sit down and shut up and pledge allegiance to the free market in a country that seems to not give a shit about them, as well as a foreign country they have absolutely no connection to. For so long, establishment hacks and establishment shills looked at the issues bothering the people and just kind of dismissed them. Can't afford to live where you grew up? Just move. Don't like that the toothpaste is locked behind plexiglass? Just deal with it. Think it's kind of f***ed up how you work 40 hours a week and still can't afford to pay rent? What are you, some kind of communist? You don't like funding a genocide with your tax dollars? What are you, anti-Semitic? If you don't address the issues of the people will gravitate towards those who are addressing those issues. It's not Mamdani's fault he won. It's yours. It's not Nick Fuentes' fault he's popular. It's yours. The tragedy of Ben Shapiro is that he led a life worshipping the free market, only to lose in the free marketplace of ideas. Now, with all this neocon rhetoric...
But there is another problem that has to be said. I mean, okay, Mamdani can maybe have communicated well than others. That was pretty much clear when you see all the others, you know, but There is a little thing that no one is considered here. That is talking is one thing and actually doing something is another, you know? And the left, but trust me, in my country, it's very easy. Like they promise you the heavens and they deliver you nothing, just more taxes, you know? So, people need to get rid of this idea that if their favorite politician says something, it's because they are gonna bring that to reality. Even though they say what you wanna listen, it doesn't mean that they're gonna do it. You know, you have to consider that. Who could imagine it? Who could imagine such a thing, right? But yeah, actually a lot of people don't think about that. They are promised stuff and they vote to the people. It's simple as that. And they don't get to know, they don't understand that in the last decades, they have been doing the exact same thing, doing nothing that they promised it, and it's true they keep getting reelected over and over and over again.
Coming out of the GOP, are the Democrats going to pick up the populist ball that they are fumbling? Are they actually going to get their shit together? Well, they are trying because they have written an article called Deciding to Win, where after interviewing over 300,000 American voters from both parties, they may have finally discovered the secret to winning.
To give ourselves the best chance to win, we recommend the following changes to our approach. Democrats need to 1. Focus our messaging on an economic program centered on lowering costs, growing the economy, creating jobs, and expanding the social safety net. 2. Advocate for popular economic policies. Moderate our positions where our agenda is unpopular, including on issues like immigration, public safety, energy production, and some identity and culture.
It's like I said just now, they will promise what you want to listen, and they will not do it. After all, if they do everything that they are promising here, they will not be leftish anymore. That's it.
So basically it took you guys 10 years, millions of dollars, and dozens of Microsoft team meetings to come to the conclusion that everyone has been saying forever. You wasted a decade worshipping at the altar of mentally ill Karens, and now you're acting like, hey, what if we were normal is a groundbreaking political discovery. You. I could have told you all this for free. It is a bad sign that it took you over a decade to come to the same conclusion that my audience has come to like a decade ago. And they're all retarded. Please reflect on this, I beg of you. Also, what do you mean you had unpopular positions on public safety? Like, why would you even say that out loud? Yeah, let's vote for the party that admits it was wrong about the issue.
I'm not retired, Chewie. You are the person that is eating nuggets while recording a video. At 34 years old with a kid. Not me.
You have crackheads shanking people in the street. I love this quote from Nancy Pelosi randomly shoved in here.
Winning an election is a decision. You make a decision to win, and then you make every decision in favor of winning.
How deep! How thought-provoking! Thank you, Nancy. What would we do without you? Probably win an election.
Democrats have changed our focus. In comparison with the Democratic Party of 2012, today's Democratic Party is more focused on issues like climate change, democracy, abortion, and identity and cultural concerns, and less focused on the economy and middle class. The table below shows this shift. Through an analysis of...
I think everyone knows that the left hates, more than anything in this world, the middle class. If you didn't know that, get to know now. Democrats hate the middle class, okay? They always want to equal people in poverty. Oh, but Misuki, what you're saying looks like socialist. Guess what? Democrats are socialists. Ah! If you didn't know that, now you're annoying as well. Okay, so yeah, they hate the middle class.
The prevalence of selected words in the 2024 Democratic Party platform in comparison with the 2012 Democratic Party platform.
This whole study is really interesting, but I need you guys to see this chart because when I first saw this, the scream I screamed. So Democrats since 2012 have increased their rhetoric on race
Wait, so let me check that out a second. The Democratic Party's priorities have changing frequency per 1,000 words of selected sense in the Democratic Party platform, 2012 to 2014. Absolute change, climate, guns, LGBT, justice, democracy, reproductive. What? That is a lot. Equity, small business, crime, veteran work, economy, middle class, economic jobs. I'm not sure. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm really stupid. I've not understood this graphic.
First saw this, the scream I screamed. So Democrats since 2012 have increased their rhetoric on race by, sit down, 1,137%. On the gays, 1,044%. Their rhetoric on men has decreased by 51%. It is now negative 51%. On fathers, negative 100%. They just stopped talking about that shit. Veterans, negative 31. Them. The economy, negative 51, because nobody cares about that, right? The middle class, 79%, but I guess you can't really talk about something that is disappearing. And jobs, negative 47%. It somehow gets worse. Apparently voters trust Republicans more on the most important issues to them and trust Democrats the most on the least important issues to them. Like they...
Yeah. I'm understanding this one. Yeah. Voting rights. Yeah, I understand the lie as well. I understand with people talking that women shouldn't vote or people that has debt, for example, which I find a great idea. If you like, if you cannot pay your credit card, I mean, yeah, it might not have a good idea if you have like too many bills that you didn't pay for in, a few years. Yeah, it's not a good idea for you to be voting because you cannot even take care of your own life, I mean, and if you say, oh, Mr. Kid, but you weren't saying like just now, you guys weren't saying like just now that, that people cannot afford stuff anymore. That's why people have debts. It's not their fault. I live in fucking Brazil and I don't have debts. Okay, I don't. I have all the fucking problems I can possibly imagine. I live like with the least stuff possible. And it's true, I don't have debts. So you guys there shouldn't have debts as well, okay? It's not an excuse, okay, to have debts and blame the government. Your situation is far more better than mine here, okay? That's it. I say that. So no, it's not an excuse for having the, people who has debts shouldn't vote. I believe that. The people I know here in my country that have debts are the lowest type of people of IQ person in the world that just live like animals, live by dopamine and buy stuff that they know that they can't afford, and stuff like that. That's it. Childcare, what in the Middle East? Less than 11%. I wonder why. Climate change, more 12%. Of course. Abortion moderate, but of course. Artificial intelligence, less 5%. Of course, IT community. And I say that IT community is on the Democrats' side, and there are always two people that don't believe that. They're all leftish. Most of them. The war in Ukraine, less 80%. Student debt, more 2%. LGBTQ plus issues, more 20%. Who could imagine that, of course?
And trust Democrats the most on the least important issues to them. Like they literally care the least about LGBT, but trust Democrats the most with it. The most popular Democratic policies among voters are things like lowering drug prices, banning stock trading, expanding Medicare, and raising the minimum wage. While the most unpopular Democratic policies are things like abolishing the police, providing free healthcare to illegal immigrants, and affirmative action. You're telling me this for the first time. Democrats, here is some advice for free. You can't just be MAGA light. Why would people drink Mr. Pibb when Dr. Pepper is right there? You know what I'm saying? You gotta bring something different, something better to the table. And that difference should be working class focused economic populism. I don't just want two neocon parties, okay? But all of this is pointless when it's clear the Dems are not changing at all. They're just gonna change their messaging. They're putting pretty wrapping paper and a bow on a big fat smelly turd. There is a chance that the Democrats may win based entirely on Orange Man bad. Again, which means they might get into office by learning absolutely f***ing nothing. Again. Then the voters will go, oh my god, nothing has changed, and then they'll vote for a Republican. American politics is just a revolving door of villains, isn't it? Rest assured, whoever wins, we lose. If you're actually gonna do this shit, if you're actually gonna do what you're saying in this little article, you better be going whole hog, not just a tip. I'm talking embracing shoe-silism.
Shoe-silism.
For many years, I have been smeared as many things. Grifter, flip-flopper, fence-sitter, racist, sexist, homophobic, but I am not a grifter, flip-flopper, or a fence-sitter. I'm simply living in 2055. You see, America has been a hyper-capitalist, economically center-right, socially center-left country since about the mid-century. And I know libertarians in my audience are gonna be like, it's not capitalism, it's cronyism. Okay, whatever the f you wanna call it, it sucks, okay? So what if instead, and hear me out, what if instead we were a more people-focused, community-focused, working-class-focused, economically left, socially right country? All the data shows more people fall into that quadrant, the populist quadrant, the shoe-silist quadrant, if you will, than the current system we are in today. If a shoe-silist party existed, it would be incredibly popular, but it doesn't exist. And that's probably by design, honestly. The Social Democrat Party of Denmark has passed many progressive policies that liberals in America would only dream of. Protection from rent hikes, free college and healthcare, carbon taxes, and a very strong welfare system. But the Social Democrat Party also believes in a strict immigration policy. They believe that if immigration is too fast or chaotic, it puts pressure on working class communities, weakens social unity, and makes it harder to maintain their strong welfare system. Wow, what a f***ing grifter Denmark is. I feel like so many people nowadays are like terminally left-right brain to the point where...
So what you're telling me is that shoe-silism is some kind of centrist ideology that we have here in my country. That is just another, for me, in my vision, is just another arm of the left. And people on the left will think that it's another arm from the right, probably. It just doesn't work, okay? It doesn't work. Capitalism has a lot of problems, and more after, like, you know, the big corporates that grew on it try to destroy with the help of the government all the other companies that are trying to grow, you know? Yeah, there is that. And yeah, capitalism sucks, but it's still the best system that we have up until now. Something new should come. I have no idea why. I have no idea if it, like, there is, you know, someone that already thought about it, but yeah, her idea doesn't work. The ideas that we have previously, like, in the last decades, like socialism and all the crap, or, you know, poor destruction also didn't work. I don't know what, but we need a new thing, and I don't know what.
Like, they look at issues and instead of being like, that solution makes sense to me, I believe that, I agree with that, they instead go, that's the left-wing solution, therefore I will believe in that. And it's so stupid and hyper-partisan and makes absolutely no sense to me, and that's why I think like a lot of left-right brain hyper-partisan people don't understand me or people like me. That's why they call me a centrist or fence-sitter or flip-flopper or whatever, and it's like...
Yeah, I labeled you centrist. It was the first time. I hope there's not a second.
No, I'm not a fence-sitter. I have many strong opinions. You just don't like them. And no, I'm not a flip-flopper just because you don't
yeah, that actually happens.
Understand the concept of having opinions that don't perfectly fall on the arbitrary, always changing left-right axis that is American circus politics. There's nothing incoherent about my beliefs on paper. None of them contradict one another. I don't understand.
I don't think I fit in the right wing with many stuff as well. For example, I don't like a lot of takes like that politicians like Bishop here have been saying, but I don't agree with a lot of stuff that more like consider extremists. Yeah, I think it's in some sense like Aniquetas is really an extremist, but I don't agree with a lot of things that he says as well. You see, I don't fit in any of these boxes, and I'm not saying that just because, oh, I want to be the different one or whatever, but I always disagree with something. And in this world that we live nowadays, if you disagree with just one thing, you're not part of the box, you know? You can't fit in that box. That's why I'll say that I don't fit in any boxes. I don't think I'm totally libertarian as well, you know? Because there are some things that I still think. You see, I would be talking a lot. I really, and there's a lot of things that I still have doubt with, You know, sometimes I have one thought about it, sometimes I have the opposite, and I think it's fine. I think I'm fine the way I am, you know? That's how I am, that's it. I don't think I fit in any of this. But I'm what I totally agree with is that I'm not a satirist. I'm not a left-leaning person as well. And yeah, at least this I know very well, okay? I'm on the somewhere in the right spectrum, even though I don't fit any boxes. On the right side, and I think I'm fine, okay? At least here on the right side of things. You're more of a somewhat fine, not be like any boxes, different from the left-leaning people,
She
you
likes
know?
free healthcare but doesn't want to chemically castrate children? She believes in workers' rights but wants a stricter border? I don't get it. Like, where is the contradiction? I'm basically just Bernie Sanders before he got his spine surgically removed by the DNC. In conclusion, MAGA and the Republican Party embracing populism is what made them so popular in the first place. But if the Republican Party's answer to all these issues young people are having is, F you, just move, you're not talented, maybe you'll own a home when you're 70 years old, they're doomed. Like, they had a small, brief fling with populism and ghosted it. Just pumped and dumped. Like a fat whore, they're
It's simple. We want people in the government that use all these so many taxes that we pay for to actually solve our problems. Otherwise, why won't we be willing to pay taxes anymore, huh? Why? When everyone's society is tied to, because believe me, most of society is not actually thinking about that yet. When the majority of society is tied to think about, why do I am paying taxes to these craps? We're gonna have a problem. People will not be accepted to be controlled by governments anymore. This is what I believe it's gonna happen when, like, the majority of the population have these thoughts in their minds. When population convince themselves that politicians isn't what they think, that they doesn't fix anything, and moreover, that they create most of the problems that we actually have, they are doomed. They are all doomed. Of course, the chance of this happening are very, very low, but they are never, ever 0%. Something like that, yeah. But that can happen. I believe that can happen.
they're ashamed of and won't bring out on dates in public. As I'm editing this, Trump and Mamdani had a meeting together, and it was very interesting.
We were discussing when Bernie Sanders was out of the race, I picked up a lot of his votes, and people had no idea. When he was put out of the race, I think quite unfairly, if you want to know the truth, many of the Bernie Sanders voters voted for me. And I felt very comfortable, frankly, in seeing that and saying that. I would feel very, very comfortable being in New York, and I think much more so after the meeting. We agree on a lot more than I would have thought.
I'm sorry, this is my new favorite problematic yaoi ship. They love each other. Maybe it's not over, folks. Maybe the power of friendship and populism will save us all. Listen, I want my kids to grow up in a safe and affordable world where they can get jobs and they can start a family and then they can have the same for their kids. And I feel like at the end of the day, that's what most people want, left and right. They just have different ideas on how to get.
What most people want is at least have conditions of living that boomers had. But like, that just doesn't last one decade, but forever. That's it. That's the bare enough, you know. That's that. Okay, the condition that we didn't ever have. When a piece of land just use it to cost a few bucks.
Get there. It just so happens my ideas happen to be the correct ones, and if you disagree with them, you will be sent to the re-education camp.
And am I 100% sure, and no one gonna convince me otherwise, that it's all fault of big corpos that we cannot own lands and houses anymore. It's their fault, mainly. And there's a whole chain of thoughts of mine for reach that conclusion. It's especially, of course, government's involved, but especially big corpus fault on this. Okay?
Do you want one? Do you want a nuggie? Pledge your allegiance to Shoe0nHead and you get a nuggie. So that was that little video. If you liked it, please subscribe for more. And if you want to help support the channel, donate to my Patreon, link down below. All patrons get every single video uncensored a day early. If you can't or don't want to support me on Patreon, that's fine. I don't care. I didn't want you to anyway. Baka. Okay, I will see you guys soon with a fun slop video just in time for Christmas.
Baka is the one who called the other Baka. It's what I have to say to her. So she's Mac. Before we go any further, I want to take this brief moment here to thank all of you, my patrons, for the incredible support to my work here on YouTube, and especially my three-tailed fox Taya members, Ornu, Fenny Sylvy, Heath Rowell, Zalost, Zaela Zhezzaia, Taiashi, SuccubusBait, and Mr. and your Eaton. Thank you very, very much. You guys are amazing. Also, thanks to everyone who donated to me through Tron and to all of my YouTube members. You can support this channel life and growth with just $5 a month and gain access to many perks. This is less than a burrito. Check out my Patreon, link is in the description below. Thank you for watching, like, comment, subscribe, links below, Patreon, Let's go find John. Well, support me. I will not call back if you don't support me, it's fine. But I may leave the county as fast as possible to go to a better place. And I'll see all my difficulties in the next one. Bye. And that's it for today, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Ja, mata ne!